Hey guys, Steve from Gym Hub. In this short video, I want to share with you the 3 different options you have to overcome any challenge. So when you're running a fitness business, you often come up against a challenge. So you might have a staff member that's giving you resistance to doing something. You might have a problem with equipment or a water leak inside the building. You might have a marketing campaign that's not really generating enough leads, or even a sales funnel that's not converting very well. Whatever the problem is that's actually affecting you, there's usually only 3 different options for you to overcome it. The first one's called trial and error. So you've probably heard of this before, but trial and error is where you essentially choose that problem, you identify the problem, and then you try different things to actually see what will work and what won't. The difficulty with trial and error is it can be time consuming. Although it's kind of cheap and it doesn't actually cost you any money or whatever, it's not cheap when it comes to time. So you'll find a lot of gym owners can take 10 years to actually get some sort of email automation inside their business, because they've been testing a whole bunch of different ClickFunnels pages and stuff themselves. And it just takes a little bit longer. Think of it in weight loss. If you didn't actually have any training in it, if you didn't have any mentors or any education or anything like that, and you just sort of tried something, it takes you a lot longer to actually do it. So option 1 is trial and error. Number 2 is you can actually pay for it and bring in an external source. So let's assume you've got issues with your sales. You can actually pay a company to answer the phones for you and take the sales. The challenge with outsourcing either sales or marketing or something like that is that it's quite expensive. The other thing is that it leaves you quite vulnerable. So at some point, if you stop paying the company to answer the phones for you, you'll see a bit of a dip in performance because your team are not accustomed to answering the phones, and your team haven't actually learned to close the sales themselves. It's the same with marketing. You can hire like a marketing agency to help with lead flow on social media. It might cost you, $3 to $5 grand or something as a retainer plus your marketing spend, and it's great and it's fast because they can actually plug in some leads into your business quite quick. The difficulty comes when after you stop using that service, obviously, there's no other leads coming in your business because you haven't worked out how to use Facebook ads. You haven't worked out how to market and generate leads for yourself. Instead, you're sort of reliant on the agency. So just to recap, there's 3 different ways you can overcome any challenge. The first one is trial and error. The second one is where we outsource or we pay someone else to do it. And the third one is where you upskill yourself. And what I mean by this is where you actually read a book, you go and do a course, you recruit or you align yourself with a mentor, and you actually upskill and learn some new things. So you learn how to do ad copy so that when you write an email and when you do Facebook ads, all of your ads are actually converting at a higher rate. You learn what a good script looks like for answering the phones, and you then have that system and you sort of put that inside your gym. In my experience running 2 gyms that have started from zero and built up to over $1 million in annual revenue, I've always found option 3 to be the best because I'm not relying on someone else. And it's me that actually gets better. So when I get better as a leader, I find that my staff are more reliable and I'm not so frustrated when I'm at work. Funny that. When I actually understand a little bit more about marketing, all of a sudden my marketing ads are more consistent, my lead flow is more consistent, and I don't feel stressed around marketing. Instead, I have a bit of a game plan in place. When I upskill myself around sales and I know how to answer the phones, and I know what each step of the sales process and stuff is. If there is a kink in a sales funnel and it's not actually flowing like it should, I actually have enough experience to sit with the sales manager, and I have enough experience and training to actually stop and help that person to get the sales conversion flow going again. So they're your 3 options. I've shared my preference. So number 1 is that you use trial and error. Whilst it's kind of cheap in terms of financially, it's really costly when it comes to time because it can take a long time. Number two is you can spend a fair bit of money and outsource things like sales and marketing if that's your problem, and actually get another company in place. Number three is where you upskill yourself and you either invest into like a course or a book or a business mentor where you personally learn new skills that you can plug into your business. And they're the only three options you get. So if you're faced with a challenge right now, I encourage you to think of those three options. It's possible that either one, two, or three might be the right fit for you right now. But I encourage you to understand there is only three options. It's not actually that difficult. You just need to consider the three for whatever that challenge is. You need to implement what that one is and then get it underway. If you find these video tips useful for growing your fitness business, be sure to like it and leave a comment below. I'm Steve from Gym Hub. If you're a fitness business owner, you're based in New Zealand or Australia, you've reopened your gym and you're interested in mentoring, but you don't have really good cash flow after COVID, you'll notice we have a promo on at the moment where you can spend $1 for 30 days of one-on-one mentoring with me. Be sure to look for the details below. Cheers.